All right, everybody. Hello, hello, and welcome to Follow Up Boss Office Hours. We're going to be talking about email and text templates today and how they can streamline your workflow. My name is Lee Adkins. I'll be your host along with Tammy Draper. What's up, Tammy?
Hey Lee, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm excited to dive in here with you on this topic.
Me as well.
Awesome. What before we dig in, why don't you give us a little bit of context? What maybe if what you did prior to being at Follow Boss and what you do at Follow Boss?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm a customer success manager over here at Follow Up Boss. I work with the Grow and Pro teams. A little bit about my history. I have been in the software side of real estate for about 8 years, but I actually was raised by a real estate broker. So from about the age of 4, I have been heavily involved in real estate. And just actually recently, I closed on my 23rd transaction of either buying or selling homes within the last 20 years. So it's definitely in my blood.
That's awesome. It's literally in your blood and
It
in your,
is.
that's awesome. You're second generation. I think we call that second generation.
Absolutely. Yep.
That's awesome. Well, I'm excited to talk about this because I think there's a couple of things. Um, I don't know if I'd say people don't know, but I think hopefully we'll provide some good refreshers on smart ways to use these templates to really just pound out some prospecting, do what you need to do, and go about your day. Because as great as it is working in Follow Up Boss and sitting at a computer, you got to be in a house with people if you're going to make money. So
Absolutely.
excited to help people kind of do that. So at a high level, we'll cover, how to create the template, a little bit of suggestion for language and using merge codes and all that. Using those templates to scale your activities, do them more quickly, and to start using it today. There's no reason that beyond this session, people shouldn't have the ability to just ready, set, go on some of these things. Tammy, at a high level, do you want to give some thoughts or feedback around templates before we dig into screen share?
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously, email templates in general are a huge time saver, and text templates as well. So really, if it's something that you find that you're constantly emailing or texting the same thing over and over and over again, just create a template. It just makes so much more sense. It's going to save you a ton of time in the long run. But also, you want to make sure that you put some thought into those templates as well and make sure that it's relevant, it's valuable, that you're really kind of keeping it concise. So keep them short and sweet. But yeah, it's a really great way to save some time.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, we'll get into it. We can go ahead and share screens. Um, you can still customize a template once you apply it. So it's important to note, and I love that you just said that, Tammy. Like, we don't want to just bombard people with the same message. We want to say good morning or hello, Susan, or something to make it not feel like it's a template
Absolutely.
while it's still being a template. So yeah, first and foremost, where do we find email templates if we wanted to make one? We'll start with email, I think, and do text second.
All right, sounds good. So from your main screen here, if you just go into the admin tab, and then you can click into email templates, you will obviously see that when you open up your system, you're going to have some pre-populated email templates in there already. And then obviously you can create some of your own as well. So do you want
Awesome.
me to go ahead and just show you how to create one?
I think so. Let's just make one from zero. And I just added a note to us to show folders in a minute too. But I think let's just make an email template
All right,
to show how
so
easy it is.
it is easy. So over here in the right-hand corner, you're really just going to click on this plus email template. And you can use a template name. I always strongly recommend that it's a name that you're going to remember, and it really truly describes what that email template is, so it's easy to find when you're looking for it. Then obviously the template subject, you want to make sure that that is something that's going to stand out to people and make them want to open it. You can use merge fields within the subject line. So a lot of people are kind of hesitant to use these because they do look maybe a little bit funny when you populate them in. But let's just say you wanted to bring in that first name. They're not going to see these, percentage signs or anything like that. It's really going to pull in whatever that merge field is from the contact profile. So again, just make sure that your subject line is something that's going to make them want to open. And don't worry about what it looks like, with the percentage signs. Then down here as well in the main body, you can also use merge fields as well. So, I mean, you could see here that there are a ton of options that you can bring in. At the end, you can always use your own agent name. It will pull it in automatically. If you're involving lenders, you can have that merge in as well. Property inquiry address, that's a huge thing. So if you want to send out something every time somebody is looking at a property, you can actually pull in that address, which is really nice. So again, it's really nice to just be able to use them. And a lot of times I will just put in, dear, and then I will use that contact name. And so I don't have to worry about making sure that I always populate something in there. And then you just will either type your email, or if you've had already typed up something in like a Word document or anything like that, you can just paste it in there and it's really ready to go. You just might want to put in, your brokerage name or team name, anything like that that you may want to change. And then you can share it with everyone, or you can just leave it there and you can create a folder for it as well. So once that is all done and you have your template name, you're just going to save it and it's ready to go.
It's that easy. And of course, now you can use a chat GPT. You can take stuff from the library. Like, coming up with decent, if not good content is,
Absolutely.
I don't want to say easier than ever, but it's easier than ever.
It is.
But yeah, so I love that. And using merge codes, we're going to go back and go a little more depth in merge codes, but some of those options are really powerful, like last inquiry URL, last inquiry preview, because the preview actually shows the card style. Hey, do you want to go see any of these properties? Which can be really powerful. If somebody's looking at properties on your website and you send them a template that says, hey, do you want to go see these properties you just looked at? That's great. There's also just the URL. So if you want to say, hey, here's a link to that property. One example, I don't want to get too in the weeds yet, but one example that we've done a lot with is that can be a great auto response for an open house, because the inquiry address, depending on how you're logging your open house, would be the open house. So you could say, hey, thanks for coming to my open house. Here's a link to all the details about the property.
Yep.
It can be done in an automated or a manual way.
Absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that will pull in automatically here, as you were talking about the URLs of, either last viewed or just the property in general. So, again, I think a lot of people are a little bit hesitant to use these, and I strongly recommend them. It really makes it more personable towards that person. And when they see that, oh, hey, they even know what property I'm looking at, and here's a link right to it, it just really helps to kind of hone in on that one particular client.
Yeah, and we'll go there in a minute and we'll show how you can see what's filled out in that merge code before you send it. You don't have to send it as a percentage and hope it works. You can literally see it. In fact, let's do that. Let's go ahead and jump to how to apply an email template.
So you want me to go in and just kind of recreate?
No, I'm sorry. Let's hop to a contact and send the template that we just made, the test template.
And I actually didn't save that template. I should have, but
fair enough. Well, we can grab one that's in there.
Yep, absolutely. So super easy. Again, whether it's a text or a template for emailing, you're going to go into the client. You're going to just click on send email. Right here, you will see templates. If you click on that, whether it's in your My Email Templates folder or in all templates, like I said, you're going to want to have a naming convention that's easy for you to find. So you'll just choose that. You will see here that we brought in the contact name. So that was going to be a merge field. So that will automatically pull in. So you can see, like I said, it's not going to have those percentage signs. It's not going to say name, anything like that. It will actually pull in that information here.
And I want to go back to something else you said, but it's really relevant to see right here on the screen. If you are a team or brokerage, if multiple agents are using these templates, use that agent first name merge code or agent full name merge code at the end of it. Now, obviously, it's going to apply your signature, so be mindful of that. But you can still, I think personally, I like to still sign off, especially a template, because that's how I'd write an email. Like I don't leave my signature as my thank you, goodbye. I say,
Right.
hey, thanks, nice talking to you the other day. My name, signature. So using those merge codes for agents can allow anybody on the team to use it and it still works and sends the right language. We're not going to get too deep into batch emails, but same for batch emails. You could send it from multiple people, but then the signature or the data in the email itself will be the proper information. And this is a great example. I'm glad you picked this one. This is a great example of an email template that you would have on every single person that you close with. You would send a review request. Hey, it was great working with you. Thank you for, being great. There you go. And
Yeah.
also on this, you can send it straight away or you can schedule it. I don't know that everybody knows about the scheduling function, and I'm a really big fan of that.
Absolutely. So right down here where you see the little clock, you can go in here and decide, okay, do you want to send it tomorrow morning? Do you want to send it this afternoon? Or you can actually pick an actual date and time here. And then once you do that, you would just go ahead and click schedule, and it will go out whenever the time is that you set.
Absolutely. I love that. Super easy.
It is
Um,
super easy.
why don't we maybe show real quick now too? Now I'm going to go a little off script because that's just what I do. One other thing too that's important about this, not only is this easy to do in Follow Up Boss, but if you're originating your email in Follow Up Boss, you're going to get clicks and opens. If you send it from your Google or Outlook, you'll see the email, but the cookie that's tied to Pixel is not in that email. It's only when you send it from Follow Up Boss. So if you're sending it, especially with links or anything in it, sending it through Follow Up Boss will allow you to get additional data that can also power smart lists and automations that, hey, they opened it, or hey, they clicked on the link that you sent. And again, if you've got Follow Up Boss Pixel installed, now you can see, oh, they looked at 5 different properties, or oh, they read this blog post, or they read the About Me page, or whatever that is. So another vote for sending it within Follow Up Boss directly versus through your email.
Absolutely. And if you're in your email templates, I don't know if you were watching what I was doing, but if you go into all email templates, I always sort this based on what was sent out recently. So this is really a good page to go to be able to see, okay, what are your open rates and your click rates and replies and how many people unsubscribed or bounced? Just a really good, high level view of how that particular template is doing.
Yeah, and I think that's important part of your overall strategy. We do the
Yeah.
same thing with action plans. Sometimes if we modify an action plan, we'll actually duplicate it
Yep.
so we can get fresh new stats on it. So same thing, if you're looking to, you can use merge codes to not have a separate email template for every agent.
Yep.
But if you want to get stats on each agent and using the template, then you can do the individual. So again, kind of the blessing and a curse, you can do whatever you want.
Right.
You just have to decide what you want to do. But again, this reporting is really powerful. And I do the same thing, Tammy. I love being able to click on like which one's been sent the most, which one's been opened the most, like
Right. Absolutely.
what's working. Because these also, and nobody wants to hear this, these change over time. It's
Yeah.
not always a buyer's market. It's not always, whatever it is. Like it is always changing. So unfortunately, watching the stats and tweaking language or new content is also kind of just part of the game.
Yeah, and you also want to make sure as well, if you're getting, a lot of bounces or a lot of unsubscribes, obviously that's a huge sign that you might want to make some changes. With the email carriers really cracking down, you want to make sure that that content is going to fit within those healthy email rules. So it's just a good idea to keep an eye on them in general.
For sure. Let's hop back to a contact record, ideally in a smart list. I want to show kind of that, not bulk apply, but how it would be easy to do a bunch. If you want to just click on the first record there,
Yeah.
and then, so you would go to the send email tab to send your template.
Yeah.
But then the cool thing is, if you either, depending on your settings, you can use the right arrow key or just click where it says person 1 of 16. That's telling us we're in this smart list.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to send an email to everybody in this smart list one at a time, which importantly does not add the unsubscribe link. Can spam says if you send to more than one person,
Yep.
not two people in one email, but more than one email, it by law there has to be an unsubscribe link. But if
Yep.
you send this as a one-off template, there's not an unsubscribe link. So again, a good way to kind of hit colder people or new people, or if you downloaded a list, rather than just batch emailing them and getting flagged for spamming people, send these as one-offs. But what's cool about Follow Up Boss, Tammy, if you want to go ahead and hit either the right arrow key or just the arrow on the person 1 of 16, when you toggle to the next person, it leaves you in the email tab. So you can just hit template,
Yep.
apply, send, go to the next person. This is streamlining your workflow. This is emailing 16 people as one-offs, which you can probably do in about 3 minutes,
Yep.
and then go show a house and get replies.
For sure. And the same goes for texting as well. You know, if you
Yes.
want to do the one-to-one text as well, again, you're just in your text tab up here, and you're going to click templates, choose that template, bring it in, or maybe not.
It's a little slow.
Yeah, it's taking a second here to load. There you go. And then hit send. On to the next one you go. It takes a matter of seconds, which is really nice.
Absolutely. Just batch these.
Yes.
And if you want, obviously using templates is great. You'll get the reporting on the template if you use the template, especially with texting. You can also, of course, just cut and paste. It keeps you in that tab. Go. I would still recommend using the template because, again, it's going to get your stats. Like that's
For sure.
the better way to do it. But I'd be lying if I didn't catch myself sometimes just hitting Command V and then go to the next one. Command V, go to the next one. Just saying. Let's go ahead now and do the same thing. We'll back up and do how to create a text template, and then we'll rock through that.
Yeah, so again, under the admin tab, just like we went into email templates, you'll just go into the text templates. Over here on the right, you will see plus text template. Again, creative name that will stand out to you is always very smart, but then you can just pretty much copy and paste whatever you've already created or just create a text in and of itself. Now, do keep in mind with text messages, it's super important to keep them short and sweet. So clearly you would not want to send something this big. So you would probably just want a couple of lines, if that. But again, there's those merge fields. So you can add contact names, company, agents' names, you know, anything that really you can do in an email template, you can bring in over here as well. So those merge fields are available also. And just like with an email, you could always share this text template with everyone, or you don't have to if you don't want to, and you can go ahead and save it when you're done.
Absolutely.
Easy.
Yeah, really is easy. I mean, the hardest part is creating, is coming up with what you want to put in there. But again, ChatGPT, people are sharing, there's things in the library. I think, frankly, I think, people overthink it. Like I know it is keyed with what to say. And somebody said this the other day. I can't remember if it was on a webinar or where we were, but if that person was face to face in front of you, you would not be stumped at what to say.
Right.
So just let it feel natural, or answer somebody once and go, oh, that was a good response. I'm gonna copy that into an email and text template so that next time I don't have to type the whole thing out. Because again, we do the same things all the time, right? Nice to meet you today. Enjoyed, showing you that house. Thanks for having me to your home for this listing appointment. Like we're doing a lot of the same things.
Yeah.
And we kind of showed this. We'll show it in the text templates too, where you can still modify it once you apply it. So again, you can add that nuance of, nice to meet you and your dog Susie today or whatever. You can still customize it, but it's just an easy button for the main text to add an emoji, to have in an email, have a subject line, any of those things.
Yeah, and so if you're in here and you want to edit any of these, whether it's in your text templates or your email templates, anything that has this blue link, you can get in there and you really can just make any changes here that you want and hit save, and it will go ahead and save that.
One use, I'm really glad you used that particular template, because one great use, we get people asking all the time, why do I have a different Follow Up Boss number now? Now I have to do this. Now I have to use this number to text people. I have to do that. This template is the perfect example of something you can send out to be like, hey, here's my work cell. Please save it.
Yep.
Um, things like that. We're going to get into some use cases in a minute. We have a pretty big list of use cases, but I just wanted to mention that again for phone number adoption, or follow up after a call. Hey, great talking to you. Here's my direct number because it's possible they called in on a company number or a team inbox and they didn't dial your number. So
Right.
following up with some sort of, hey, great talking to you. Here's my number. Please save it. Um, something you should do after every initial meeting with everyone.
Absolutely. For sure.
Beautiful. So, and then also you're there, obviously, but same thing as a demo account, but you can see the scoring. How well are these messages doing? Are people replying? Are they being filtered by the carrier? Are they not being delivered?
Yep, and you can sort based on those as well. So you'll see a lot of, pending here right now, but you can see the replies and opt-outs and, how many were sent, which is really nice.
Yep, absolutely. Great for those stats. So, um, I mentioned, let's talk about some use cases now. So I talked, a little bit about making sure you have your pixel installed. So if you're sending out links or driving them back to your website, um, highly advisable, less advisable to put links in a text. That kind of drives you towards the spam side of things.
Absolutely.
Um, but again, the point is you get clicks and open reporting in email templates. So using a link to drive them to here's a blog post I thought you might like. Here's all the properties available in 30022. Any sort of link or permalink you could send people, number one, you're going to get the click and open data, but you're going to get more data to be able to follow up with what they're looking at, what they're doing. I just think this is super underutilized. People are moving fast. They're not thinking about that part of the strategy.
For
Uh,
sure.
and obviously, I think this goes without saying, but I think I'll say it. Action plans are typically a series of email templates. They can be more things. So these same templates work the same way in an action plan. We're obviously focused now on the actual content of email and text templates. But I did want to at least reference that an action plan is still just a series of email templates that can be sent automatically. And so again, those stats, having links in them to drive people back to your site or check out my reviews or whatever that um, is just really powerful stuff. So I think, that's one great use. Sending out updates on their home search or requesting updates, or hey, sending out your listing when you have live listing clients. Every Tuesday we send an update. Great, super easy. Have a template for your update.
Yep.
Hey, I just wanted to update you on the last week's showings and feedback. Here it is. The other thing that's great about this is if you are a team or if you're looking to ultimately grow or have an assistant or whatever, this can also be done on your behalf. Someone else could go in and do this in your name or in their own name. But again, really powerful for growth and delegation to say, hey, VA or hey, assistant person, every time someone has a closing, I need you to send this email and pop in the appropriate review link or attach the, you know, CD. I always want to call it a HUD. I've been in the business too long. The CD information or whatever those things are.
Yeah.
I think another great use case are things like invites. If you have an app, if you use like a Rooster or a Real Scout or a Homestack, real easy way to say, hey, please, grab my app. Here it is. You shouldn't have to type that and find the link every time. You should be able to apply a template. And we didn't cover this, and Cami, I can't believe I didn't put this in the notes. These are fully usable as well on mobile.
Right.
It can be a little tricky and it's hard for us to show you mobile, but it's a little tricky on mobile because you start the email or text first,
Yep.
and then there's an option for template. Sometimes people go to the page and they're like, where does it say use template? You click on start email or start text, then you've got the option to apply the template.
Absolutely. And it's kind of the same really if you're on the desktop or laptop as well. I mean, you have to be in here and in the email tab to
Right.
create that or choose that template.
It happened to me. Somebody asked me like a year ago, like, hey, I can't find templates in the app. And
Oh,
it took me a minute to click. And I don't
yep.
use the app a whole lot because I'm always on desktop personally. But yeah, so pro tip on that, if you don't see templates, just start it and then you will. But yeah, you're right. It is very much the same on desktop. It's just
Yes.
a little more overtly visible. And then, of course, we didn't really get into this. We'll mention it just because right where we are is actually, if you want to hop right back
Yep,
there,
yep,
you still back to send email. You've still got options, and these are also in templates to add in a YouTube video or an emoji or add an image or bulleted list. You can do all those same things in the templates. So you want to obviously take your formatting, you want it to look nice.
yes.
Um, and then a couple more use cases I'll tackle super quick, and then I'll throw it back to you, Tammy, to cover anything. And obviously, if you guys have questions, feel free to drop them in the Q&A. Happy to tackle any questions that we can help with. I kind of mentioned this before, but just sending out transaction updates, not necessarily, hey, you're closed, but hey, congrats, this contingency is complete, or hey, your appraisal contingency is up in 3 days. Again, things you're going to do in almost every transaction. Just having an easy button to say, hey, this date's coming up, or hey, we haven't got your earnest money yet, or whatever those things are. Because again, you're going to do it all the time. We've had this question a couple of times. I'll go ahead and tackle it now. There's not an ability to batch text message in the sense of sending multiples, which is why we showed you how to easily scan through and do it. That is also not coming because it's a compliance thing. We have a hard enough time with people sending one-off text messages with language in it, or them being too many sent to unknown numbers or brand new people in the system. So batch texting is not available and it is not coming. However, scrolling through this text tab and knocking out 10 of them in the morning is not that hard. Plus, again, the customization you can do when sending it one-on-one is going to get you much better results than trying to send one message to 40 people at the same time. But I appreciate a couple of people asked that. I should have covered that right out of the gate. And then I'll finish these 2 use cases and then we'll go to that. Also, obviously, you can use email templates. Actually, let's go ahead and do this, Tammy. Let's do a batch email using a template because I want to show how you can preview it to see the merge codes too.
Absolutely. So let's just say you have this screen open and you want to send it to these 6 people. If you just click on the arrow, it will select all. And then if you go into batch email, you can send that email here. And then obviously here's your option to use a template. And again, you just go into whichever folder it's in, you choose that template and it's ready to go.
Perfect.
So
And go ahead and hit preview so we can, I'm sorry, you're good. Keep going.
No, I was just going to say in a matter of seconds, you can have that batch email ready to go.
Absolutely. And as you can see here, it's affixed their actual name instead of the merge code.
Yep.
So you can see that.
And you can still schedule batch emails as well. So once you click that preview, you do have that schedule section available, just like you would normally.
Absolutely. Love that. And then my other use case I actually already covered. Just anything you say or do all the time. Hey, I was just checking in. Hey, your earnest money is due. Hey, we got the appraisal back. Any and all those things. So,
yes.
Yeah, so I think we've covered how to make them. Let's actually hop back real quick and show folders a little bit more. I'm pretty passionate about folders because it's easy to get bajillions of email templates and make them hard to find. So
absolutely.
Action plans, email templates, and text templates all have the ability to use folders to organize them. And Tammy, I'll let you run that down, but I also want to talk about the fact, you can cover this, the fact that they can be in multiple folders as well.
Yep, absolutely. So whether you're creating a new template, and obviously when you are creating one, you have this folders button down here. So if you just add folder, you can search for whichever folder here that you want to do and put it in that appropriate one, or from over here, just like your plus email template, you're going to just add a folder here. You can create that folder name and save it, and it will show up here. So you can have as many folders really as you want. A lot of people, you might have one for sellers or for buyers or, for appraisal, anything like that that's going to really help you find it quickly is really important to do.
Absolutely. And you mentioned the naming structure earlier. It's so important. Buyer nurture templates, new lead buyer templates, transactional templates. Um, just whatever it does to make it easier to find and to apply the right one. These will not streamline your workflow if you have to search for 10 minutes for the right template. So just naming it, buyer nurture, follow up from call, sending, contact info, whatever they are, specifically because when someone goes to apply them, they're going to also see these same folders. And we've only got one folder here, but you can also drag, just like many things like custom fields and the panels on the left and right side, you can drag them into whatever order you want. So if you want to have your buyer ones first, great. If you want to have transactional ones at the bottom, or if you want to have a folder for transactional ones. And again, these work kind of like tags and follow-up boss in the sense they can be in multiple folders.
Mhm.
So if you have a buyer nurture that's also, I don't know what the other thing it would be, but it can be in multiple folders just as an easy way to find it. So I think it's just important to mention for organizational purposes.
Yeah, and I wanted to touch on something real quick as well. You talked about action plans a little bit and needing the email templates. And that's something I always do like to point out is that if you're going to use emails within an action plan, do make sure that you have created those templates first. And this is where it is really important to make sure your naming convention makes sense. Perfect example would be if you are sending out an action plan for a nurture buyer, you might want to name each of those templates nurture buyer 1, nurture buyer 2, nurture buyer 3. So then it's, not only do you know exactly what email templates you're using, but you know what order that you need to have them in. So that's something I always like to recommend as well.
Awesome. Yeah, that's a great add. Excellent. Well, I think that covers the core functionality. If you guys have questions, great, throw them out. Tim, if you have anything else you want to tackle, feel
So,
free to dive in. I like to always just kind of, if there's nothing else specific to templates, I like to always show the question mark too. This is a great way to find if you want to contact somebody at Follow Boss for some help, if you want to search the knowledge base, you can go ahead and hit it so we can show that. I'd love to show the unified search. Like, let's type in email templates to unified search and see what happens.
So pretty much anything that you guys would ever need, you can put up here in this help center, and it will pull up information that we've put together as Follow-Up Boss, but sometimes you will also see interviews of other teams and kind of what they have done or what they use, which is really nice to get some ideas as well. I know me personally, I have not been able to stump this yet. So no matter what you're looking for, email templates, text templates, action plans, pawns, you can pretty much find all of that information right here from the Help Center. And again, that's just right here in the question mark down in your lower right-hand corner. You can find a lot of other things as well. A direct link right to our Facebook community. That's also super helpful as well if you're looking for just information in general. And just if you're wanting to see what other people are maybe doing for email templates, you can just kind of say, hey, what email templates are you guys using that you have found that works? So definitely a lot of great information. You can also link to our support team here. So definitely don't forget about that question mark in the lower right corner.
Awesome. And we have a great question, great question here. We referenced it very quickly, but kept moving from it. The question is, if you share a template with other people, will the stats for that template be combined, or would they just be for that certain user? So yeah, that's actually what we said. That's a great plan, Dave. That would be what he's saying is essentially making separate templates for each agent so that you would have the reporting on each agent's template. If that's what you're looking to measure, I would 100% do it that way. Have separate templates for each agent. Let the agents and you either the agent could make it and then only they can see it, or you could make it and share it with everybody and just tell them only to use it. Back to your point, Tammy, name it well. Like, this is Bob's email template, so no one's sending out the wrong phone number or the wrong whatever. But yeah, from a stats perspective, having multiple email templates will get you good reporting just on that template for that agent. But if you do want it globally, like it's in an action plan or it's some sort of drip, same thing, you're going to get more data and more information around, who's engaging with it and, if it's a good template.
Absolutely.
Great question. Awesome. Cool. I know it's simple, but simple but powerful is that's what we're going for, right? We don't want it to be complicated. We want to just be able to rock out some messages and go about our day and go sell a house. Any last words of encouragement, Tammy, for anybody who's like, I know I need to do this. I know I need to finally buckle down and make some templates and do some things. Any words of encouragement or motivation?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is you saw how easy it was to create. It literally will just take a few minutes. Also, the fact that we have some that are going to be pre-populated for you. And again, they're just customizable. So for the ones that are pre-populated into the system, all you have to do is go in there and then you can change it so it is your own voice. And then just hit save. And then truly it is your email template in your own voice. So really just get in there and play with it. You can't break anything, whether it's email templates, text templates. Again, it just takes minutes and it will definitely save a ton of time.
Awesome. Love it. Oh, wait, we got one more question. I was about to hit end. Got one more question. Oh yeah, template to multiple folders. Let's show that also.
Absolutely. So, obviously we have all templates here, but if you're going to create a new template and do your test, I'll just do a test here. I'll do a test here. And let's see if
You'll probably want to save this one too, because we only have one folder. We're gonna have to make another folder to demonstrate this.
True. So we can go ahead and we can put it in an ISA folder right now, right? And then we can save it. But then let's go back into our all email templates. Let me search test. And then you can go back in. Well, we'll probably want to create that folder first. So let's go back in and just do a test folder. Save that. Go back into our all email templates. Find it by test. And that's the other thing. You can search up here as well. So it makes it even easier to find these. And then you can go ahead and add it here into the test folder as well and save that.
So they work a lot like tags in Follow Boss. You can have multiple tags across different things. So it's just the same way. And actually, now that we have two, do me a favor, let's hop back in and do one more quote unquote new one and just show how you could add it to both at the same time.
Okay.
I know that's kind of a weird technicality, but that's how I would do it myself. So.
So then once you have your everything ready, if you want to share it, you can. If you don't want to. But now you could do ISA folder as well as test folder. And then go ahead and save it. And now it's in two different folders, the same email template.
And bear in mind, that does mean it's still one template. So if you modify it in one, it's in the other. Same with action plans. But yeah, great. Perfect. That was a great question and great way to get us right at the bell. That was beautiful. Tammy, thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for being on. Always fun to tackle these. I'll send out this recording a bit later today once it's up and ready to go. And we hope you learned something cool today. Have a great one.
Bye.